survivor. I'm a survivor, survivor. Who will be the ultimate survivor? Let's find out when you spend a day in our shoes. All you creators, our sanctuary is waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor. I'm a survivor.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
I told you we were going prom shopping 20 minutes ago and you're not dressed.
Why don't we just do it a different day? I don't want to do it now.
We don't have your clothes. We have to go. And do you remember, and think hard, what happened last time we upset your dad?
You mean Gary?
Yeah, I mean Gary.
Hey folks, Lester here, and I am a little bit embarrassed to say that I've been in sort of a slump here lately. I'm walking over to take my camera away from the swing. I'd hoped to capture some good footage of our poltergeist, our swing that moves by itself, no explanation. And instead, the only time that my camera has been activated was when family members pass by. Those that you love and those that you trust. And some of the conversations that I picked up were not pleasant or easy to listen to.
Are you ready to go see Uncle Lester?
No.
Come on, you don't want to see Uncle Lester?
Did Lester ask you to vote for him for prom?
Yes, I can't believe he's making us go to this prom.
I think he just wants us to watch him dance.
Just to watch him dance?
Dance? I'm the one that taught him how to dance. So how, and trust me, he doesn't do it as good as...
Dad, well, you and Mom, are y'all going to the stupid prom?
Oh, Lester, come up with some kind of stupid stuff again.
We have to go get them. If we don't, Lester will be mad. Do you want his crazy side to come out?
No.
Come on, let's go.
Because, like, as long as I've known him, he's always tried to, like, one-up everyone.
It's begun to put me into kind of a downward spiral, back to a place that I'm not proud of, a side of me that you don't know and that you would not understand. Not again. I'm just gonna remove the camera, and hopefully with the removal of the camera, I can remove all of the things I've heard throughout the week, all of those conversations that were captured. To make a joke out of something that is very serious, and then if it wasn't my own son who had to call him by name.
You mean Gary?
I mean Gary.
We don't say that name here. Gary. And now, after an entire week of having to hold back my feelings and my inner emotions, my inner demon, I have to put on a smile and host everybody at our family prom. my gosh. Happy Friday the 13th, y'all. Friday the 13th. And oh, goodness gracious. It is so nice to see you all here. Happy Friday. Yes, TGIF. Guys, we're having fun. I don't understand what's so hard to get about that. As if, oh man, I'm not going to focus on the 10 percenters today. I'm not going to focus on the 10 percenters. I will focus on the 90% of you all who are really enjoying, and you still have your sense of humor, and you understand that entertainment comes in so many different forms and fashions, right? And yes, sometimes entertainment can be some lovable little animals, and sometimes entertainment can be something spooky. And this is the month of Halloween, and we are having so much fun. And when I say we, I mean this guy and some of the other folks who've helped me work on the videos. And it's not those 10 percenters who keep saying, this looks like it's staged. And I can't believe that. And I only come for the animals. Come on, my friends. Get a bit of a grip and remember that we're humans and we have fun and we can laugh and play. And there really is a prom coming up right here tomorrow. Now, let's not talk about the G word. I know a lot of y'all are asking it. Wait, who's Gary? We don't want to talk about Gary, okay? We don't want to talk about Gary. I'm being joined by all of my babies over here. They all just come out the house. Jamie opened the door, and they all come running out to see what Daddy's up to. Yeah, we also have some goats over here in the background who are trying to mess with my prom table setup. You might really need to learn to laugh a bit, y'all. If you can't learn to laugh and just enjoy. And I saw one comment that said Lester's having to dummy it down for all the dummies. Don't say it like that. I mean, in a way, a lot of things have gone right over a lot of people's heads. That is true. And in another way, I have had to rearrange the order of the videos so that people could at least try to put bits and pieces together. But that word dummy it down, it just sounds so mean. And I'm not trying to dummy it down for the dummies. But it has been a fun week of reading comments. Oh my God. It has been the funnest week of reading comments. Most people get it. There's a few that don't. And there will be even more. Oh my God. Who's Gary? Okay. So if you're just joining in, you might have to back it up to the front of the video where I played a trailer. Yeah, a movie trailer. Isn't that kind of weird how the movie trailer comes out before the movie, yet a trailer normally follows? A trailer, like you pull a trailer, it follows. I don't know why they would call that a trailer. I've never understood that. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But hey, what can you do? Oh my goodness gracious. A lot of folks are remembering that we lost our Maggie a year ago. That is true. But we're not going to talk about Maggie today. We are just a couple of weeks away from Halloween, but we are one day away from our prom here at Longhorn Lester's, and we've already gotten everything set up for the most part. Been doing a lot of cleaning, y'all, lots of cleaning. And I talked about this yesterday, how my shoulders and my knees, every joint, all of my joints, I think when my life is over and done, seriously, when my life comes to an end, and I don't know when that will be, but if someone would ever ask me, what was the beginnings At what point did I notice the beginning of me getting older? I would say absolutely it was the joints. It would be the joints. I don't know why, because I can remember easily 5, 10 years ago when I could go out and work a full day. I mean, farm work. I mean, after, during, excuse me, all of the Hurricane Harvey cleanup and all of the work that had to be done with the entire farm rebuild. And I can't really tell you that I would sit there and have joint pains. I mean, you would sometimes work yourself to exhaustion, but I cannot really say that I ever felt joint pains until the last couple of years. And I don't know why. And so someone's saying it, yes, knees, shoulders, feet. I don't really have feet issues, but I would say my knees and my shoulders. I would also say that if I had been smart, I would have gone to my doctor earlier this week and got cortisone shots in my knees, especially. I didn't think about it ahead of time. And now it's too late. If I go now and they give me cortisone shots, it's not going to kick in for a couple of days. And I don't really have elbow issues. Guys, it's just knees and shoulders. It's knees and shoulders. And I would say that there may be days when I kind of like mentally, I may forget a name. There are days where I don't even feel like I'm old. I know I'm getting older, but I don't really know what age I would call somebody old. And I think that the term old may be just in kind of how someone acts more so than what an actual number goes with them. I know my sister Kim is several years older than I am, and Kim still does all kinds of stuff. She's up on ladders and she's on the floor. She's fixing plumbing and doing all kinds of things. And Kim does things that I would not want to do. So, yeah, there's yes, Aleve. Someone says take Aleve. Take a couple of Aleve tablets. And even that, isn't that kind of even funny that we're talking about joints and joint pains, and all the young people on here who have no idea what joint pain feels like. Oh, your days are coming. We have another visitor who's jumped over to say hello. Sweet baby, that's my phone, and those are my glasses. You can't have either one of them. So we have everyone's out and about this morning. All of the babies have come to join us for our live. And so, no, I will be fine, guys. That's the whole thing about it. You may not always feel 100%, but you just keep on doing what you have to do. Something so funny is over here. I'm going to show y'all something very funny. Please don't judge. Please don't make fun of me. We're looking at Mr. Finn. He's got tape stuck to his face. Hey, little boy, come here. He has tape stuck to his face. Give me that. Where did you get that from? Oh my gosh. Babe, we need help here.
Where did you get that?
Finn has tape stuck to his face.
All right, hang on a second.
So Finn has tape stuck to his face. I don't know where he got tape from. I don't want to pull it hurt. Oh boy, I got it. This was stuck to his face.
Babe.
He just did that when I grabbed the tape. Sorry. I cannot believe that little fella. He had tape stuck to the side of his face. I looked over and saw him, and then he got startled and he knocked Jamie's plant over. That's when she said, babe, because her plant got knocked over. Poor Finn. So, no, we've gotten so much stuff done around here. We're very excited. Tomorrow's the big day. Oh, baby. Daddy's trying to do a live. Oh, gosh. I need help here. I just got babies all over me. Sweet babies. Daddy loves y'all so darn much. But, I know, but. Come here, Trixie. I will talk a little bit about Trixie. I think that I was going to hold off on this for a while, but we're going to have to make some big decisions with Trixie here. Come here, Trix. Come here. Trixie, come here. Jamie says don't do it. Jamie wants me to hold off, and I think that we probably should hold off too. Trixie has a cancer on. I am not going to be able to give you all of the technical terms, but we're going to be dealing with some Trixie stuff here in the near future, and we're not going to let it consume everything right now. Trixie's fine, and Trixie's demeanor is absolutely wonderful. She's not dealing with any pain whatsoever. And, cancer is very, I think the word is prevalent in boxers, very prevalent in boxers. And no, being the fact that it is just 1 year since we lost our beloved Maggie, who was a part of my life for so darn long, we really didn't want to a year later. Well, guess what? Now Trixie has cancer, and we didn't want to go that route and talk about that. So we're going to discuss it and talk about it when it's timely. But remember, everything that we do on our channels is done on our time, not on your demands. And so we are so blessed that you have become invested in the babies, and the, you're here for the good, the bad, and the ugly. But at the same time, we have to be the ones to relay that information to you and talk about what's happening when it's right for us. I know that's hard to understand, but I think that you all have probably been in a situation where maybe you're going through a situation with maybe a divorce or finances or an illness of your own or some kind of marital relationship or you name it. And there has to be the right time to talk about it. And you can't have someone beg that out of you or demand that out of you. So we will talk more about Trixie, but today's not the day. Today is Friday, and it's Lunch with Longhorn Lester, and we're just kind of talking about other stuff. Talking about Jamie and I and the team that we have working with Trixie are not putting her out of sight, out of mind. We are absolutely doing what we have to do, and we will talk all about that later when the timing is right. But there have been lots of folks asking, and so it's not going to remain a secret, but it is going to have to wait until we are ready to talk about it. And then we will also make some decisions with our vets on where we go with everything. But that's not today. You're trying to get it out of me. I can hear you trying to squeeze it out of me. And we're not going to do that. Trixie, though, I will say this, is she has not skipped a beat. She is doing everything that she's always done. She's just the sweetest little girl. Hasn't always had the best of habits, but man, there's a lot of us with bad habits, y'all. That much is true. And Trixie will be fine. All right. And no matter what, we know that Trixie is living an amazing life, and she will always live an amazing life. She's always lived an amazing life. Trixie, I think the neatest thing about Trixie, and I'm going to say this, it may not come out right, but if you think about it, Trixie was not near as much in the scene until her mom passed. And so we used to try to find ways to keep Trixie off of camera. I think that pretty much everybody in the family has talked about Trixie and some of her bad habits. And I mean, everything from, well, you already know all of her bad habits. But and we tried not to talk about those things because we've discovered that the more you talk about things that people find offense to, the more hate you're going to get on your channel. And believe it or not, misery, that expression that we talked about last time, misery loves company. There are people that will find ways and fingers to point and blame this and blame that. And sometimes you're just not in the mood. sometimes you're just not in the mood to deal with it. So we will deal, and we'll love Trixie and do whatever it takes to get her better. But we're not going to deal with everything right now as far as what it means with the social media side of it. Yeah, that's a funny story too. And then here I say a little earlier, we're not going to focus on the 10%ers. We're going to talk about the 90%ers. The family has gotten together, and the family, when I say the family, I mean the entirety of the family have gotten together, and we're all going to reach out to about 10. We're looking for about 10 moderators who we're going to pay. We're going to actually employ some part-time moderators to moderate the channels, because the negativity, the hate, the anger is at an all-time high. It's as bad now as what we've ever seen it. And it's on every single channel. There's very little content you can post without having a lot of the anger. And so we are going to be reaching out to people who are regulars on the channel. I don't mean anything. There's nothing that you can do to become a regular besides we know who are the regulars. You get to know those names. And so what we're going to do is reach out and offer part-time employment. And we're going to have those people moderate. You can give them a moderator's clearance, and they will have the permissions to go in and literally remove, delete, and ban people from commenting. It's very easy. A lot of channels have it. We have always tried to just give people chance after chance after chance, knowing that people have a bad day every once in a while. And when you're having a bad day, you say things that you don't mean. And so I think that the ultimate so this is how it's all going to come down. This is going to be real simple. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. Yes, you are entitled to your opinion. But what your opinion cannot do is be one that antagonizes, that provokes, that's directed at someone's character or things like that. And so we will negotiate and talk about monies, but we're going to employ part-time, and this is a part-time job. It's not full-time, but it's someone that has enough time to sit down probably every day, or at least most days, and watch different creators' videos. And when they come across those comments on either Facebook or YouTube, we're not going to negotiate. We're not going to hassle and haggle and argue back and forth. It's a real simple matter. If they're expressing their opinion, I think you guys should consider doing this. No problem. No problem whatsoever. But for those that say, I'm not even going to tell you some of the nonsense that we've had to read, even with this Halloween stuff that we've been doing. And so what happens is you may have people who share your opinion, but when you start taking and making things personal, and you start attacking someone's character, and this is not just a Lester thing. This is a Jake. This is a Brienne. This is a Jamie. When you start attacking, different things about different creators, no one really has to sit and watch that, because what we've learned is that when you allow people to get by with that long enough, that becomes their norm. Their norm is to go onto your channel and simply just rip you apart because they feel like they have the right to do that. And so we joke and say that, yes, we live in a glass house, and so we do open ourselves up to much criticism. But if you think that you're the only one with the power to say mean, horrible things, guess what? There's also quite a bit of power in our fingers also. We just don't have time. We don't have time to read every comment and delete and ban and block. But there are people who love these channels, and they love what we're trying to do, and they would love to make a few extra dollars every month by doing something that they're sick of anyway, getting rid of the people out there that are purposely trying to create a divisiveness on the channel. Other channels have done it and found much success at it, because what you really can do is eventually you can streamline your channel to being those that support you, those that are in your corner, those that have your back, those that, even though we can absolutely disagree, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're having a problem right now here at Longhorn Lester's. We've lost our grass again. We have lost our grass again. And Jamie and I went this morning and we looked at a piece of property, grazing property. It's 10 minutes away. I will tell you right now, we didn't like it, because to get to the property, we had to pass through several. I will just say that it was not, I did not feel safe. I would never feel safe taking my cows, even if they had amazing fencing, and leaving them somewhere that I'm not there to watch them, especially when I saw the neighborhood that we had to pass through, and to know that these cows would be, in fact, in the back of that neighborhood. So we do need pasture. We absolutely need pasture. And so we are on a hunt. We're on a search for good pasture. Our cows, I'm not going to say they're starving. I'm not going to sit here and say they're starving. But a lot of folks now are saying, ignore the haters. Guys, at some point, you can ignore all you want to. But if other people begin to jump on board with those haters, that's when those voices get louder and louder, and it begins to make people in the comments not even enjoy reading the comments. Here, I'm going to ask you a question real fast. I'm just going to ask you a question. How many of you have read comments and you ask yourself, how in the world does anyone have a social media channel with all of this negativity in the world right now? And so there are days when it's not that big of a deal. You just let it, just roll right over. And then there's other days when it gets to be quite extreme. And you know what? The crazy thing is, we said this all along, that you go find your happy place. You find your happy place. And if you're in your happy place, then you will have no reason to be so angry. But I do believe there are folks that come to the channels just to spread their hate and their negativity. And so those people will be blocked and banned. Now, I know what you're saying, Lester, all they're going to do is create a brand new profile. Well, they could do that, but they'll have to also create a whole new email. And so if someone has that much energy to continue to create new emails and new profiles just to come on and be mean to you, are they not just setting themselves up for a horrible eternity? Seriously, think about that. When kindness costs you nothing, and these are in fact blank pages of your book, like we talked about last time, your book of life is just all these blank pages, and you're going to fill up the end of your book with the amount of time that you spent creating fake profiles and creating new email addresses just to go to a page of love and spread hate and negativity. And that's how you want your book to end and be written. And so I would ask you to really think about that for a minute and allow people who come here or to any of the channels as a happy place to be happy, and not have your comment be the one to make them scowl. Or a lot of folks try to get defensive and try to, defend because they know a little background of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So somebody just now said, haters have no happy place, Lester. And that might be true. And that's really, really sad. But either way, we're going to, if they're going to continue to come back and back and back and back, we're just going to keep putting them back in the old, booting them. But no, Jamie and I are trying to find a piece of property because our cows cannot continue to live the way they're living now. That's not, I'm going to tell y'all something, and it might not make any sense to you. but I'm just going to say it the best that I can. If somebody comments that, hey, you might want to check on this, and it has to do with an animal's well-being, then I think that you owe it to your animals to check out what they're saying. If you have 100 people come on there and say, hey, you might want to check on this, you might want to check on this, then if you're an animal person, you in fact do owe it to your animals to check on those things. Because if you are an animal advocate and you must do what's right for your animals, it doesn't matter how much pride you have as a man or as a woman. It doesn't matter how long you've been farming or what your granddad used to do or what you used to do. If you are truly an advocate for your animals, then it's your job and it's your responsibility to sometimes break those habits of grandpa and break those habits of what your daddy always did, and instead go do what's right for your babies. That's true. That's very true. And there's a lot of people, a lot of farm channels that you follow that you just love so much, and they are still living in the very old days, and they are not doing what's right for their babies. They're not giving their babies 100% of their best life. There are fixes to problems, and they refuse to fix them because, oh, they'll be fine. They're just cows. As long as I've known them, they've been okay doing that or doing this or doing that. And so their times are changing, and we have to make sure that we're always on top of what our animals need. Also, science teaches us new things every day about animals and things that they may need. And so ultimately you have to evolve with those times. And if there's things that are out there that can make your animals live a better life, then it's your job as the animal advocate to go out there and get those things for your babies. You must put your babies first, always. Always. And so we've had this dilemma here at Longhorn Lester's where our pastures are not producing enough grass. And so if you want to, you can spend your time arguing about overgrazing or bad soil types, or there's a number of things that you can sit there and entertain the ideas of. But the bottom line, the fact of the matter is, our animals have no grass. They don't. And so what we have to do are look at our options, and we have to figure out what can we do to give our animals the life that they deserve. And so are there some long-term solutions, possibly bringing in some topsoil, mixing some things together, go out there and retest the soil and retest the soil and retest the soil until we get the right pH, until we get everything absolutely the way it's supposed to be, and then reseed? Yes, absolutely. If this is going to be our long term, then those are things that must be done, because we have to have grass. But in the meantime, we don't. And it could be years, and I say years as in plural, before you can actually cultivate and work the soil enough to get you the kind of soil that you need to grow the right kind of grass. And in that meantime, I think that we're doing our animals a very huge disservice by having them forced to be here just because of our pride. This is Longhorn Lester's, and this is where my Longhorns will be. And so ultimately, we have to do what's right for the animals. And we have to. There's a plane flying down the river. The river here is so wide that these planes fly along, like literally down the river. So if I can't see it, you can see it. So what that plane is about to do is make him a circle. What they do, I don't know if these are training pilots or just weekend warriors, but what they do is they fly above and they get kind of an idea of the river turns. Then they'll come back around and they'll go right down above the water. And like I said, it's nice and wide here. I mean, oh, it's so wide that these planes are flying, and they literally fly in these channels, a whole lot like you might see on something like Top Gun, where they're the training missions, and they're flying through these caverns and these canals, and now it's not near that treacherous. These planes move slow, and I forgot what you call them, but prop planes. But so no, getting back to our dilemma here at Longhorn Lester's, we have to do something with our cows. The grass seed that had popped up, it died back almost immediately. I have put some seed out for winter grass that hasn't come up very well yet. And then we will at some point look for pasture. My goal, if I could find, I told Jamie, I would think about 20 acres, but 20 acres of pasture. And then what we could do is move our cows there for grazing. And then whenever we eventually get grass here, our cows can come back here to live, and we'll have that 20 acres of pasture that we can use for our hay crop. We have to cut hay every year. That's our winter hay crop. And sweetie, Daddy's doing a live right now, White Kitty. Daddy's trying to do a live video, and I don't really have time to love on kitty cats. I do love you so much. Okay, can I get back to my live now? It's very rare that you ever see our barn kitties all in one video. We've talked about that. But every once in a while, they'll pop up. I want to hang out with you, rub on your computer, and try to sip your drink. So no, we're going to continue to look around and try to find that perfect 20 acres of property. But man, there is a lot of criteria. Our plan is to not do anything with Longhorn Lester's. Is to try to maintain this as our home and our home base. This place is amazing for the birds and for the goats. And I'll be honest, it's great for me and Jamie. There's so much peace and quiet here and tranquility. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of property. But we have had, we just can't grow any grass. So just know that opinions are always welcome. Opinions are always welcome. Someone says, are you planning on buying or leasing? So that would really depend, I think, on the lease agreement, because if you have to lease property, but you have to go spend $1,000 or $2,000 on fences, it makes you wonder, and then you don't know how long that lease is going to last. You have to make sure that we have a fresh water source. Having a pond would be ideal. Having electricity to run that fresh water, or to allow us to build some kind of a cabin or a place to kind of like a temporary refuge. We would like to have a barn. So there's a lot that goes into the criteria of doing something like this. And so we will absolutely keep looking into it and figuring out what's the right move. But was that ever in any of our dreams to know that our Longhorns would be split up and divided? Absolutely not. But sometimes you have to you gotta evolve, and you gotta be flexible enough to do what you have to do. Someone says you've talked about this already. Yeah, it's been on my mind. And so when things are on my mind, that sometimes my mind does gravitate towards bigger issues than poor me, poor me, poor me. Right now, I'm just thinking about my cows and what they need. But for the people that are saying, take them back to I'm a Survivor, that's not really feasible right now, because even at I'm a Survivor, we're looking at having to do thousands of dollars worth of fencing. When I say thousands, I mean plural. But you have to remember that the fencing the property is not mine yet. So to be fencing on property that's not mine, would be wrong to be cutting off someone else's pastures. And my dad is still very involved with his cows. And I'm not going to tell my dad, hey, it's time. I need more land. I'm ready to do my. No, that's not a child's right. And shame on any child who goes to their parents and demand things from your parents. So my dad still enjoys his cows, and his cows have to graze as well. And so the fencing that I would have to put up would be, in fact, patchwork over old fencing. And we've already learned that that does not work. Patching up old fencing does not work when you have cows that are coming in heat and bulls who are right next door. So, and there were lots of problems. I think that you guys, or those who follow the channel, have been very aware of problems that we've had at I'm a Survivor with break-ins and breakouts, and so that's just not wise. That's not wise. So I would actually prefer to find a piece of property to buy. I know that our next door neighbor, she can do loans to a certain amount for agriculture, and so she's helping us look for properties. But here's my criteria: it has to be close. It has to be close. I don't want to drive 30 minutes or an hour to get to my cows. I don't. I want to be able to have, like I said, fresh water. A pond source would be great, or some kind of a creek. No flooding. We cannot deal with flooding. If I don't have a barn already there, I'll have to build one, because you want to have some kind of a structure for your cows to go into for inclement weather. You also have to have a way to store hay. So there's just, if you start adding everything together, the list kind of adds up before you know it. And so, man, wouldn't that be amazing? Smithfield. So everyone's calling it Smithfield, but believe it or not, I think they call it Smithfield. Now, it probably meant Smithfield, but I'm guessing that the old Southerner who owned it, yeah, old Smithfield down over there, old Smithfield. So he was probably saying Smithfield, but it was pronounced Smithfield. And so, believe it or not, a lot of people call it Smithfield. But yeah, Smithfield would be ideal. I would love that. But I talked to the owner, and that's family land, and that it's not for sale. So there you go on that. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about something? This is so important. If you are still here, don't leave yet. Guys, I got to show you something that nobody got. I think that I may have done some of my funniest work recently, and I can't believe that no one caught it. And if you did, no one acknowledged it. What I'm doing is looking at my phone, and I'm trying to find the exact video that I'm looking for. So here it is. I'm going to airdrop it to myself. Y'all give me a minute here. Accept this to my computer. Download it to my computer. Okay. This over here was absolutely one of the funniest things I've done in so long.
Act nervous.
Okay. So here, let me give you the backdrop. So talking about Smithfield, guys, that land is vacant. Now it's owned, and I've driven past that place 1,000 times. And every time that I do, I look and I dream about the what ifs. I think that's probably about 30 acres of cleared pasture with a couple of trees for shade. Now, straight up ahead, there is an old house, but it has been, what do they call that? It's been deemed unlivable. You can't live in it. It's too old. It's a structure. It's not for sale. But I ended up running across the owners of that property. They had pulled into their RV, and I thought that I would just pull up in there and talk to them. Condemned. Thank you. Condemned. I would pull up in there and talk to them and find out, just maybe find out what their plans were with that piece of property. Now, I've already done a lot of research. I've had Jamie do all the CAD maps and stuff on all the properties in this area. And we know that the owners of this property live in Kansas. So sure enough, the day that I drove by and saw their gate open, I'm like, oh my God, the gate's open. And I just had to take that chance to go up and meet them, introduce myself, and talk about the possibilities of, would you guys be interested in maybe selling? Well, this over here is what I recorded. And then the humor is a voiceover. That was humor.
I can't believe this is the site of Smithfield.
There is so much history on this piece of property here. All right, they have a dog under their RV. There's a truck door that's opened. Oh my God, what am I gonna say when I get out? What am I gonna say? Okay, Lester, calm down, take a breath, be natural, find your words. What I just said there was, what am I gonna say when I get out? Because what do you say to a complete stranger? You've pulled up into his driveway. This is a huge moment for me because I don't know this guy. He doesn't know me. And I had to make my best impression. No one gets my humor here.
Well, I'll be George. Hello, I'm Lester. I live just across them woods. And I've been flying my drone over your property.
Well, my name
Listen,
is...
I love this place. I talk about it all the time in my videos.
Well, what can I do for you?
Hey, can I see the Confederate cemetery?
Well, we don't
They
know.
call me Longhorn Lester. So, where's that cemetery?
Sir, I don't even know you.
Come on, man. I'm a good guy.
Who is this weirdo?
Maybe we should go save Dad.
I'm not going over there. That guy talks like he's crazy.
So, I just live over there, right across that tree line. And I know every inch of this place.
Awkward.
And I really want to see that cemetery.
But sir, you can't just...
I'm not leaving until I do.
Fine. I do pray you never have people just show up to your home and invade your privacy.
Oh great, now you're getting somewhere.
Dad, you need to send that creep back where he came from.
You are a weirdo. I hope you know that.
Weirdo, I just want to see the cemetery. Longhorn Lester pulls up to visit. And you all treat me like a stranger, sheesh.
Sheesh.
Enough. I will show you the damn cemetery if you promise to leave.
Thank you for talking some sense into him. Hi, I live there. I'm your neighbor.
That wasn't really what I said, y'all. Those are not my real words. That was me pretending to do a voiceover. A voiceover is when you have options on your editing tools and I can type in what I want the computer to read for me. And then I can also choose the accent. So I chose that fella, whose name is Mr. Duke, to be kind of a very distinguished gentleman who talks kind of maybe a little bit posh, like maybe European, British. And then his son and daughter, I made them kind of like quirky, like, who's this dude? He's just a weirdo. And then, of course, if you noticed, I wouldn't even give the guy time to talk. I was typical Lester of just rambling. And I was just rambling on. I would cut him off at half sentence. I thought that was so darn funny. And in the comments, I can't name 3 people who noticed that and thought that part was funny. Oh, Lord. And I'm like, Jamie, do you know how much time I spent on that right there? Do you know how much time I spent building that video? And no one got my humor. I'm seeing now that a lot of people did get my humor. I guess that you just found things to comment about other stuff. But wow, I will show y'all something real fast. I didn't do anything. Now, I had no idea that some of these things existed, but a lot of people have gone to my channel and they've gone and they've done some research for me. And so I want to show you if I can find it. Here we go. I'm going to send this to my computer. Uh-oh. Turn my airdrop on. Look at this. Oh no, that's the problem. Remember, it can't put up photos. We can't put up photos. Guys, I got to show y'all this. This is really, really amazing. I'm going to take that picture and make it into a video. Yeah, when you use StreamYard, it only allows you to do certain things. I don't know why. I want to add that. And I want to add this next thing right here. So do you remember one of the grave sites there belonged to a fella. Now I'm going to send this to my computer. When you do this all the time, you kind of learn how to do it fast. I'm going to airdrop this to my computer. I'm happy to see everyone's still sticking around to see this. This is really powerful. This is the first person that I've discovered, and I can't say it was discovered for me. So we found several of the old Confederate grave sites, and there's actually a site that you can go to, a .com you can go to, and it will tell you about some of the people that are born there or that are buried there. And so if you remember, there was this one fellow named Charles A. Rose. We found his gravesite, and it shows when he was born. Now, this is the actual .com over here, but this first picture is actually him. And so that right there, my friends, is crazy to know that this fella, I think he died at the age of 44, is from what I remember, is one of the men who were buried in that cemetery. I don't know much about his story, but I think things like this that you can discover is just amazing. So I hate that that cemetery had gone so long without being cleaned up or worked in. And I get it. The guy who owns the land has chosen not to live here. He's moved off to Kansas. And what he does now is just, well, it's family land. So he holds on to his land. He wants to hold on to it, y'all. And sometimes you don't know why. It's like my dad just holding on to his land. My Uncle Raleigh held on to his land. It might be something in your blood, and maybe he would feel like if he ever sold his property, then he would lose a whole lot of his heritage. He would lose a whole lot of whatever. But there was, for some reason, he did up and move off to Kansas, and he left this land here. And in that, he, well, the cemetery is no longer being taken care of, the old cemetery. And so to be able to go out there on that cemetery and take my weed eater and clean up, what I have to do is find me the right kind of chemicals to actually clean those stones. What I've learned is that every stone is different, marble or whatever the type of stone is, granite. And so they all require special and different kinds of chemicals to clean them. I'm going to go by and get me some brushes and go back. I'm going to take my lawnmower also, and I'm going to take a pitchfork. The pitchfork is because I have to go by and do this because the grass is so high. I have to try to find other markers. Some of the markers are up and down. You can see those easy enough. But a couple of those were the kind that lay flat, and they were completely covered in grass. You didn't even know they were there until I would begin to walk around and I could step on things that were hard. And so I knew there was something down there. I began to dig, and amongst all of the ants and just twisted in grass are tombstones. And so I will be doing a whole lot more work in that area. So I don't want to go over there and just start cutting everything down. I want to try to do it the right way. Maybe kind of the way that an archaeological team would do if they find a find somewhere. They take their time, they do it right, they do it in sections. I want to make sure that I give time to each section. And no, the fella, Mr. Duke, did not know much about everything. He didn't know about the historical marker and the historical significance of his property. They never lived there. They've always lived away. But like I said, that was family land that was passed on to him from his dad. And if it's like my family, his dad probably received it from his dad. And so the further you get removed, the more generations you get removed from actually living there, I think the less it means to you, the less it runs through your blood. And so it's very likely that maybe at some point, if either none of his kids want it, then he would consider selling it or something. I don't know. But the thing is, I did not get his phone number. We do have his mailing address that we found on a CAD map. And so I will write him a letter one day. I'm going to sit down and I will write him a letter. And maybe I will make a proposition to him, because not only is that land important because it offers some amazing grazing to our animals, but you know that I've become quite the history buff as well, knowing what ties exist between that property and my property, some of the artifacts that I found, and to know that it's just crazy to me to know that is right there, just right there. But that was a lot of fun, and that video was funny. I'm sorry that you all didn't get the humor in that. And maybe the end of the video with me doing the cleanup was powerful enough to where it kind of like, it was hard to have both emotions, the humor and the seriousness of it. Because in fact, in that same video, at the beginning, I'm sitting there laughing, and at the end, I'm darn near a mess of a man crying like a schoolgirl inside of a Confederate cemetery at just being so overwhelmed with all of the nostalgia and the history and the heritage. And then I was so torn, not knowing how my audience would receive that. And that's scary too, not to know your audience enough to know how they would receive it. We live in a time where there's a lot of people who are looking to remove and erase history. And I remember the summer of 2020 and maybe even 2021 with all of the statues and monuments and the things being torn out of the ground and pulled down and destroyed. And because people want to erase moments of history. And I worried about my audience. And I would say that I've been overly worried lately. I think all of us creators have, because it seems like no matter what we do, there's going to be some form of divisiveness. And we're just so tired of having people fighting and arguing. And I did not want to have a really powerful video overtaken by fights and arguing. So I think that overall it was received very well. A lot of people agree with me on the fact that history, especially when it comes to human life. Hey, Ben, human life should be preserved, and those memories should be talked about and brought up. We don't have to agree of why the war was fought, but a war was fought. We don't have to agree about, all of the fine details, but what we can agree on is that a young man and many young men were torn apart from their families in a conflict where it truly was brother against brother or uncle against uncle, families against families in a civil war that cost hundreds of thousands of young men their lives. And now half of those young men that lay in these graves are being forgotten because there's a movement to forget them, forget the past, forget that part of history. Let's act like it never happened. It never happened. If we don't talk about it, then it never happened. And I don't think that's the way that history should be recorded. It always bothered me to know of how many libraries were burnt, how many books were destroyed, not only from the Germans during the world wars, but even through history with Napoleon and all of his conquest, and completely remove civilizations from existence by removing the record of what those people did. And we don't have to agree with those people. But I think it was very powerful the way someone in the comments said that 200 years from now, all of us, if we're not cremated, we will somewhere be lying in some cemetery. And you would hate to know that your particular stone has been overlooked and forgotten because the modern beliefs of the age went against what you stood for. They went against what your beliefs were. And so that's not the way we treat those who lived before us. Instead, what I see is a man, Charles A. Rose, who died at the very young age of only 44, who lived in this area. I'm guessing he lived on that land, and I'm guessing he was a part of all of the comings and goings. And it could very well be his bayonet, or he could have, I don't know. But so for the person who says no one had an issue with the cemetery, oh, yes, they did. You don't know how much work Jamie and I spent on monitoring. That's not the right word, but watching those comments. And we would try to as fast as we could, because there were actually people who had problems with that particular video and what I was doing there, which is that actually is the one that made us decide to go ahead and invest a few dollars every month on part-time moderators. Because even if we do sit down to read videos, comments, that's not usually until the late afternoons. And by the late afternoons, by then, all of the arguing and bickering has been going on for hours and hours. So we would like real-time moderators who will know our schedule. We would probably, what I'm guessing is be in maybe a texting or a messenger group. And everyone would know that releasing a video this morning at 5 a.m. So whoever's available, jump on there and moderate that one. Releasing a video today at 5 p.m. Doing a live today at noon. And so everyone would know. And then if we do get Jake and Brienne, who wants to be a part of this as well, Jamie, anybody who's having a lot of hate on their pages, then by all means, we'll just pass the moderator along and those folks can moderate. And I do believe that in no time at all, we could clean up our page and clean up a lot of the negativity. And that person could have a couple of $100 a month extra. And who could not enjoy a couple of $100 a month extra? I don't know what you could do with that much money. It might buy your gas for the month. It might buy your gas. It might buy you a pantry full of groceries. So depending on how much time you have to spend, but we are talking about that and we're going to start making that happen very soon. But like I say, moderators will have to be fair and moderators have to be open-minded enough to know, is this just someone's opinion? And we're okay with opinions. Opinions are fine. Or is this person trying to attack the creator personally? Is this person looking to antagonize, looking to provoke other people to anger? And so moderators are a good idea. That's why Facebook and YouTube allow them. And we did that for a long time. Early on, before Sister Kim had her own channel, she actually worked for I'm a Survivor as a moderator. My mom also worked as a moderator. Jamie's mom still works as a moderator, but only when she's able to. She's not able to watch all the videos. And so, because she has a full-time job. So we will absolutely look into that and make that happen in the very near future, because like I said, it's no fun to get onto channels and have so much divisiveness. Guys, if you have a couple of minutes to spend with me, I'm going to open a couple of gifts. I will open a couple of gifts. If you have to go, I completely understand. So I'm just going to turn my camera over here. This comes from Jane Pierce, and it was sent from overseas. I need a box cutter. Y'all give me one moment. Man, working in the barn would be the fastest thing to do work out there. Yes, sir. Every time you come, that will be a big job. So, all right. So I'm going to try to be careful with this. Oh, no. What in the world? Well, now there's no letter. Oh, there's a card. Okay. I'm just going to move my chair around over on this side over here. Dear Lester, you are a very colorful person. I thought you could use these colorful leg warmers. I brought them for you, and they got delivered to my daughter's place. My granddaughter, and it says her name, Telefolau, opened them and tried them on. She loved them and was laughing so much. She is a 20-month-old. So over here, I'm guessing the picture over here is her granddaughter wearing those leg warmers. How cute is she, huh? How adorable. Beautiful little girl. She sometimes watches your videos with me. I couldn't send the video, so please enjoy the photo. She loves animals as well. With love, Jane. P.S. The straws are for your prom bar. So we do have our bar for the prom, and these are reusable straws that have been gifted to us from Miss Jane for our bar for the prom. And look here at the leg warmers. Miss Jane, please don't make me put these on right now. That's very sweet of you. And I just love this little girl. I don't know her, but boy, I could just love her. Isn't she adorable? Is that a kangaroo she's with? She's with a kangaroo. I wonder if this comes from Australia. I do see all of the packaging and all this over here is yes, this comes from Australia, from Jane Pierce in Australia. Thank you so much, Miss Pierce. That's wonderful. And I promise you, I will put those to great use. Oh. So this here is in the same package are 3 cards. Tina, that's my sister Tina. This over here is for Uriel, and it says, Lester, please translate for Uriel. Thank you. And then this one comes to me and Jamie. I'll go ahead and open the one to me and Jamie. I will pass Tina's to her. Oh, someone's about to be in some trouble here. Someone's going to get in trouble. I know you're all saying, Lester, just be sweet. Lester and Jamie, how about Ring of Life? Name that for the round pen. Just a suggestion. Lester, I have no computer or cell phone, only TV. I cannot leave you horrible, inconsiderate messages. It is hard to believe the goats and baby calves are growing so quickly. I love them all. Please give all the critters hugs and kisses for me. Thank you so much. It says just a little note to brighten up your day and to say I love you both. With love, hugs, and kisses, Lisa. And then she writes a note. Ooh, I love letters, y'all. I don't think anyone ever gets too old to enjoy a letter. So I don't know if I should read this because it doesn't really tell me if I can or can't. So I can give you my word that I will read it. But Lisa, I'm going to just not read it on a live because I would hate to embarrass you by reading too much things that you don't want to have shared. And then there's a Tractor Supply gift card. Lisa, here goes my little spiel. That's sweet of you, but we want you to save your money. I had a email last night from a lady, and she wrote and she told me how wonderful all of the channels are that she follows. Not Marl Hill channels, but other channels. And she goes, it really bothers me that you're constantly bad-mouthing or bashing particular channels. And I said, Miss Donna, I says, with all due respect, I'm not bad-mouthing or bashing any particular person. I am showing my disapproval of a video creator who makes hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars a year of their money that they make from their videos and from having a loyal audience. And yet, when they have an animal issue, they still come to you and they beg and they plead for more money. And I'm never going to change that. I'm never going to change my ways on that. Once again, if a video creator, any creator, be it dog rescue or cow rescue or horse rescue or anything else, if they make a living off of social media and they are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, some make millions of dollars a year from their sponsorships, from their endorsements, from their video ads, the ads that we all have to watch. In my opinion, if those animals make you money, then it's your job to give back to those animals. Yet, when an animal is ill, or when this particular creator needs something, they don't use their own money. They come to you, the folks who probably a lot of folks don't really have that much. And they come to you begging and pleading for more. And my argument is shame, shame, shame. Open up your own wallet and use your own money to take care of your animals' needs. Your animals take care of you. Your animals have projected you to being somebody on social media. And so it's only right that you give back to those who've given to you and stop trying to nickel and dime all of your supporters to continue to give you more and more and more. I don't care how nice of a guy or how nice of a girl or how sweet of a family. They're taking advantage of you. And so I will go to my grave saying that same message. If you watch a video creator and they have, let's just say, a good number of 20,000 or more, because with 20,000 followers, you can make a killing on social media. What I mean is you can make more money than you made at your job. Here's even a better example. If you follow a video creator and they quit their day job to make videos, that is all the proof you need to know that they're making a lot of money. Yet, when an animal is sick, they can get on the camera and just cry and cry and cry and beg for more. There's no difference in those people than what we saw with the Bakers, Tammy Faye and Jim Baker. There ain't no difference. Tammy Faye and Jim Baker may have did it in the name of God, and these guys are touching your emotions, doing it in the name of my animals. Please save my animals. They need to get off their high horse, open up their own wallets, and take care of their own animals. That's just my rant. That's just my rant. So if you are someone that follows some of those channels that are always asking you to support us, send me your money, support us. Here's my PayPal, here's my Cash App, here's my this, here's my that. They're taking advantage of you. And I don't want to see you taking advantage of. Sorry if that offends you or hurts you, but it's my opinion. Remember how I'm entitled to my opinion? All right, and the last gifting goodie here comes to Lester Morrow. This is a big package. I'm trying to find the best way to open it. A channel has to learn to earn your money the old-fashioned way. Now, absolutely, can you do things for a fundraiser on occasion? Yes, because it does take funds to do some things. Doing that for the fire department was a huge blessing of ours, being able to help the fire department, give them things that they couldn't afford. But just every time an animal needs something, go do that for your animal. And stop making it about more money for your pocket. Especially when it means taking away money out of your pocket. We're going through a very hard time right now, and times are going to get worse. And if you have that much money, put it in the bank. Save it for a rainy day. Oh my goodness. This is nice. Welcome to the shit show. I hope you brought alcohol. I got mine. Someone says, Oprah and The Rock. Yes, absolutely. Oprah and The Rock. How disgusted were we at watching Oprah and The Rock, both multimillionaires, maybe even billionaires. I don't know if they're billionaires or not, and they're going to come on and we need your help to help the people of Hawaii. What? Oprah. So Ben has just come to inform me that Oprah is in fact a billionaire. So I was hoping to find some kind of a note inside here, and I don't see anything. So I'm sorry about that. Nothing I can read. But listen, I just want to end my video. It's a very nice audience. Once again, I want to play for you the trailer of what's been happening, the happenings of what's been going on here with all of the Halloween / lead up to our prom. Enjoy this, and I'll leave you. I've had you for over an hour. It's been a pleasure. I want to thank you for your time and for loving us. And may you enjoy tomorrow night's prom.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
I told you we were going prom shopping 20 minutes ago and you're not dressed.
Why don't we just do it a different day? I don't want to do it now.
We don't have your clothes. We have to go. And do you remember, and think hard, what happened last time we upset your dad?
You mean Gary?
Yeah, I mean Gary.
Hey folks, Lester here, and I am a little bit embarrassed to say that I've been in sort of a slump here lately. I'm walking over to take my camera away from the swing. I'd hoped to capture some good footage of our poltergeist, our swing that moves by itself, no explanation. And instead, the only time that my camera has been activated was when family members pass by. Those that you love and those that you trust. And some of the conversations that I picked up were not pleasant or easy to listen to.
Are you ready to go see Uncle Lester?
No. Come on, on, you don't want to see Uncle Lester?
Did Lester ask you to vote for him for prom?
Yes, I can't even believe he's making us go to this prom!
I think he just wants us to watch him dance.
Just to watch him dance?
Dance? I'm the one that taught him how to dance, so how, and trust me, he doesn't do it as good as...
Dad, you and Mom, are y'all going to the stupid prom?
Oh, Lester come up with some kind of stupid stuff again.
We have to go get them. If we don't, Lester will be mad. Do you want his crazy side to come out?
No.
Come on, let's go.
Because, like, as long as I've known him, he's always tried to, like, one-up everyone.
It's begun to put me into kind of a downward spiral, back to a place that I'm not proud of, a side of me that you don't know and that you would not understand. Not again. I'm just gonna remove the camera, and hopefully with the removal of the camera, I can remove all of the things I've heard throughout the week, all of those conversations that were captured. To make a joke out of something that is very serious, and then if it wasn't my own son who had to call him by name.
You mean Gary?
I mean Gary.
We don't say that name here. Gary. And now, after an entire week of having to hold back my feelings and my inner emotions, my inner demon, I have to put on a smile and host everybody at our family prom.